Scream 7 is one of the most controversial movies this franchise ever had. Probably the most controversial. There was the behind the scenes drama. There was the cast shakeups. However, it happens to be the highest grossing Scream movie ever made. But I think that says something bigger about the Scream franchise that I got to praise, because at this point, has reached a level where it doesn't even matter what people say about it. People are showing up anyway. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but people don't seem to care.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Hey now.
Ahoy.
What's up?
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
And welcome back, folks. This is episode 168? 168. Yeah. Yep. We're back. We're here. We hope everybody had a lovely 2 weeks since we last saw you. I know I didn't. We're talking about Scream 7 today. Whoo, baby. Wow. What a divisive movie this is. And we're going to be talking about it. I'm excited to talk about this one. I didn't even want to watch this movie, but we did it anyway. Not for us, for you guys at home. We watched it so you don't have to.
It's divisive for me.
Really? It's going to be interesting then to talk about. So stick around for that. We're talking about that later. What have you guys been up to? Anything cool last 2 weeks? Anything fun?
Yeah, I went to see Danny Brown last night.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My good boy, my good friend, Hunter. We went, and it was great.
Boy?
It was in Raleigh. My good boy.
What kind of relationship you guys got? That's fun.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Does he stream anymore?
Nah, I don't think he has time. Because he has the podcast now, and
okay.
He's back making music, touring.
Nice.
So, yeah, he played old stuff, new stuff.
That's fun.
Everything in between. So, yeah, it was great. Yeah. Great show.
Nice. You been watching anything, Marvin?
I just finished season 7 of Sunny.
Oh, shit. Cruising.
So I'm on season 8 now.
Still liking
Only
it?
86 seasons to go.
Yep. They just wrapped season 18.
Right. That's crazy.
They wrapped production.
No, I'm still liking it a lot. Yeah, it's really good. I actually watched Horrible Bosses for the first time.
Oh, love that movie
as well.
Great.
Because
you need a little extra
Sunny.
Charlie fix.
Yeah, well, I was watching Sunny and Jason. I forgot his character's name in the show.
Oh yeah. He was
because he pops up. He was their friend in school, and they ditched him because he was like, I don't know. He had a thing with Charlie. Charlie doesn't like him.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a 2-part episode to end season 7 where they have a high school reunion. You probably remember that one, Dan.
Oh yeah.
And they basically called it out like, yeah, he's gonna show up at the end of the night and bang the drunkest girl, and then that's what happened at the end of the. It
was Schmitty.
Schmitty, that's right. Yeah.
Schmitty.
And C was like, oh yeah, they were in a movie together. And I was like, what, really? And then Horrible Bosses.
Nice. Has he been watching Sunny with you?
Nah, not really.
Oh, okay.
She just was watching it. I had it on in the living room. And
Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey.
So funny.
Colin Farrell was so funny. His head was so big in that movie with that forehead, bro. That prosthetic or whatever the fuck he had going on was insane.
Did you like the movie?
Oh yeah, I thought it was funny as fuck.
Jason Sudeikis is one of my favorites. He's in another movie with Charlie called Going the Distance, and it's him and Justin Long, which is one of my favorite rom-coms like ever made. I think it's not a well-known movie, and it's not very well rated, but like I love it. I think it's so funny. I watch it like 3 times a year. How about you, Dusty? What have you been up to?
Not a whole lot. I haven't watched too much new. What I did start was Lord of the Flies.
Oh.
The first episode pulled me in pretty good. It's good. I like the way they did it. The second episode, I got into it, and they're doing some weird stuff with the cinematography. I feel like they're doing a little bit too much. Like it's too noticeable. It's like, oh, here we go again with this kind of scene. Where they do that everybody's looking really weird, like awkwardly, just staring at the camera. They do a lot of that. Like it's that weird, like mystery, trying to make you feel weird.
Yeah. I have to just point
Gonna
something
set
out
the
real
mood.
quick. We're all wearing green. We tend to always wear the same colors, and we don't coordinate it. I don't understand how it happens.
It's awesome.
Like we don't coordinate it at all. But anyhow,
Just
Episode
synergy.
168, baby.
Yep.
We're locked in now.
But yeah, Lord of the Flies. I wanted to watch this because, it's one of the few books I enjoyed reading. I don't like to read it for fun a whole lot, but this is a good one. It's classic. So
Does this
they've
have-
never made a series on it. This is a first time. So
Does it have Yellow Jacket
That's
vibes?
crazy.
When I saw the trailer for it, it kind of gave me Yellow Jacket vibes a little.
kind of. Yeah. I mean, there's a monster on the island kind of type deal, but they don't really explain. I mean, I'm not that far into it, but it's
There's
not
also
as
the obvious,
not as in your face, but it's very subtle. Yeah.
there's the obvious connection of like a bunch of kids stranded together, right? But
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, it's pretty
that's
good
cool.
so far. I'm gonna finish it, but I'm kind of mixed on it right now because the
gotcha.
cinematography choice.
It's only 4 episodes.
Yes, it's.
Oh, wow.
They're all an hour long though, so
I forgot
bad.
that was coming out. I maybe I'll give that a go.
I want to watch it. I added it to my list.
I watched a different miniseries this week that was really good. I had told you guys about it a couple weeks ago. It came out. Something very bad is going to happen.
oh yeah.
Really good, actually. Highly recommend it. It was 8 episodes, and very good for a Netflix production. I don't know what I could really say about it without spoiling it, but it's like a supernatural sort of psychological horror / drama. And it's basically about this chick who her and her boyfriend are like driving to his family's like summer house or whatever in the woods, and they're
Yeah.
gonna get married.
Okay.
But like, it's a little bit it's got that like thing that I kind of said I don't really like about like what's going on with horror nowadays, where it's like all about like some sort of trauma and stuff like that. But they did it in a really cool way that I really liked. It's about really like it's about like marrying your person, like, and like the anxiety that comes along with making that decision of like, am I with the person I'm supposed to be with, type of thing. But they take that like concern that every normal person has probably at some point, and then they like put a horror spin on it. It's really cool, and that's all I'll say. But very good cast.
Like
Acting was great. The horror stuff was very, very effective. I really enjoyed it. I think you guys should check it out.
Yeah, it's on my list of things I want to watch. I'll get to it eventually.
It was refreshing because, like, wanting to like get back into like my horror shit. This was like a good jumping off point. It felt nice.
Heck yeah.
If it's 8 episodes, is it still considered a mini series or just like a limited series?
Miniseries, because miniseries is portends that it just is. That's it. It's like one and done. I think.
Oh, I thought that was limited series. I thought mini series was like.
Yeah, a mini series would be small, where a limited series. Yeah, that's a good question, Marvin, because I think there's a distinction. I think
Because
it's 4 or
Chernobyl,
5. I think 6.
Yeah.
6 is probably when you get into series, limited series.
We
5 or less would be a mini series.
We ask the important questions
Interesting.
here on the Harsh Language Podcast. Let's see what the AI overview has to say.
Overlord.
The primary difference, Marvin, is that a mini-series is generally a one-time, closed-ended story, traditionally 2 to 8 episodes, while a
2 to
limited
8.
series is a modern term for a planned short run, often 6 to 13 episodes, that, while resolving its main story, may sometimes return for additional seasons, like True Detective.
So there's overlap.
Clear as mud. 2 to 8,
Yeah.
6 to 13.
Clear as mud.
Thanks, AI.
There's overlap.
Well, no,
That's
I
great.
think the difference is that a mini series is, like I said, it's one and done. A limited series might come back after telling its initial story. So, like the new season of Scrubs, I would say is probably considered a limited series because it's like
Right.
it could be a one and done season, but it could also come back. I think is kind of the difference there. But
Yeah.
I always thought a mini series was like 6 or less usually.
yeah, well, now everything is 6 or less, so we got to change the definition.
Yeah.
No, but this was good though. I really enjoyed it. It was good, and it was like sufficiently creepy too. Like it worked there's some good jump scares in it that like got me. Like it was nice. It was cool. Good, a nice change of pace. And our boy Zlatko Buric was in it.
Oh shit! I remember this guy from Superman.
Yeah, he's popping up in everything now. He was in Superman. He was in Wonder Man. He's in this.
That's right.
Yeah. We got a lot of news to cover. Maybe we should move on to the news or
get into the news.
Yeah, we can talk about the news.
Let me tell you something real quick before we get into the news. The world that we are currently living in is the worst. Okay.
Great world.
It's no secret that we complain about it all the time, but like the inability to determine what is real and what is fake is the worst reality you could possibly imagine. It's worse than I've ever thought.
I'm about to get rid of everything. I don't want to read anything ever again.
There's stuff that like you see and I'm like, is that AI? Is that not AI? Like it's definitely AI and then it's not AI. It's too much. It's too much. I'm sick of it.
Yep.
We need to move on from this phase of reality. Like enough. We've had enough. It's over. That being said, we got a lot of stuff out of CinemaCon. What do you got for us this week, Dusty?
Yeah, so CinemaCon news, we have a lot of it. I'm just going to burn through the whole thing here real quick, or we can go day by day if you guys want to stop and talk about something. But like basically trailers and scenes we got on day one. We got Godzilla -0 trailer. We got Spider-Man, brand new day. We got a new scene from that. We got a trailer from Zach Cregger's Resident Evil film, as well as a trailer for the Evil Dead Burn movie.
I'm burning that shit too.
Yeah, WB's Day revealed a Clayface teaser preview, new footage of Supergirl, and the first 7 minutes of Dune 3. Most of this was done privately, so we're not going to get to see anything of this stuff until later this year.
Which
the Universal, go ahead.
Can we just stop with this shit of like secret screenings and just release the fucking trailer?
Well, I mean, that's been the media industry for a long time. Even E3 was media only for a long time before they opened it up to the public.
I know, but that was a different time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. For CinemaCon, they're trying to sell movies to exhibitioners and distributors and stuff. I think is what just to announce things and shop things around.
But you're causing like a shitstorm that doesn't need to exist, right? Especially in today's day and age.
I agree.
Because
emphasis on shit.
Yeah, because
I heard that then.
Because like first of all, almost 9 times out of 10 something's going to leak, right? So now your product that you're selling is getting shown to the wider audiences in its like shittiest possible format. Okay.
Yeah. Cell phone cameras are getting better, but they're still shit.
Yeah. Just like show the trailer the next day.
And then it's the audio shit. And it's like,
it's audio.
Up.
Or at
if
least
you get a bad first impression, it can kind of it can kind of your shit. Yeah.
Or at least the weekend. Like it's okay. So it's Sunday now. Like CinemaCon have show the fucking trailer. Just that's it.
Right.
Release it. It's over. But so like because they showed like the Avengers trailer. I don't want to fucking read about it from 36 different YouTube channels. Like or hear them break it down,
describing it.
Yeah. It's like just release it.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Before we talk about that, you go on.
All right. So then we got the Universal presentation. They focused on a new Snoop Dogg biopic in which Jonathan Davis will star. And we also got Nolan's Odyssey. They revealed some Trojan horse footage.
Let's go.
Well as Charlize Theron's Calypso. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm excited about that biopic. I like a good
Who is
90s
Jonathan
rap
Davis?
biopic.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Jamie,
it's 2 S's, Daviss.
Oh, this guy.
This guy from Korn, Jonathan Davis, is playing Snoop Dogg?
It's 2 S's.
Is this
like a freak on a leash?
Yeah, that would be funny. That'd be some woke shit right there.
This is Snoop Dogg right here. They're race
He's got
swapping.
the dreads.
We're finally getting the black to white face, the race swap. That's big. That's big for the anti-woke people. This is their time.
Yeah.
So 2 S's, you say? This
guy is like tall and skinny. He got the skinny face like Snoop.
All right, I can see it.
Doesn't look exactly like him, but he's similar enough.
Yeah.
Well, you can't always have your son play you in your biopic like Ice Cube.
Yeah, not everyone.
Speaking of
that.
which, did you see the commercial that they did?
I did, yeah.
Snoop.
He sounds just like Chris Tucker, his son.
Ice Cube and Chris Tucker's sons, O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Destin Tucker, did the scene from Friday where Debo shows up. I have never seen two people look more like their fathers in my life, especially O'Shea Jackson Jr. He is a literal clone.
Yeah, he's a spitting image of his dad.
It's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, they recreated the whole scene, and they had Terry Crews play. He was like doing the Debo part. It was really funny, actually. I'm surprised you didn't mention the most exciting aspect of CinemaCon, that we're getting a sequel to Longlegs.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
he's coming back too. Apparently, Nicolas Cage will reprise his role. I don't. No, not Zach Kreger. This was.
Oh yeah, the Longlegs. You think? Yeah. Sorry.
This was. What's his name's son? I don't remember the name, but yeah.
Osgood
Perkins. Marvin got that memory on him. Would you look it up?
I didn't. No.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
My long term is good. My short term memory is pretty bad.
It's real bad. It's like
I think I got like top 5 in the country worst short term memory.
top 5 in the country.
90th percentile, Marvin. 90th percentile.
Less than a second. It's true, folks. Marvin will say something, and then I'll be like, "What?" He'll be like,
if you don't keep the conversation going, for like 15 seconds, we got to move on to the next.
He's done. He's done. You'll never know what he said. He could have said the most profound shit. You'll never know.
Yep.
He just won't remember.
Yep.
So longer legs. We're gonna be getting that. I don't know why.
Longer legs.
And then I call it that, obviously, but why are they
this
doing that?
This one's gonna be long arms.
Yeah, long arms. What a disappointing movie that was. It's like unanimously disappointing too. Everybody I talked to who likes horror movies was like, man, that was a letdown, huh? It's like the one that got away. It could have been so good. But I got it worse than everybody because I actually participated in the marketing of it.
You fell for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There were some other things at CinemaCon, of course. There's a lot of stuff. Obviously, I think the most notable was probably Avengers. That's been the one getting the most talk. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about retconning cinematic failure because their narrative sucks ass? Because apparently, according to, first of all, this movie is going to be a psyop, 100%. Everybody's like, this is going to, they did test screenings apparently. This is the best movie since Infinity War.
Right.
This is testing like Infinity War. It's going to be the best Marvel movie ever. It's going to blow your tits off. If you have brown hair, you're going to come out white. Marvin's going to turn white. After watching it, like it's just the best movie ever made, ever.
Yeah.
But the thing that I found interesting is that the Feige and the Russo brothers, they've all said some like bizarre things about it. But the most bizarre to me is that this is apparently they said this movie is going to directly start after Endgame.
Yeah, that's why they're re-releasing Endgame in theaters with
new footage
and deleted scenes. So they re-released Endgame before with like deleted scenes and whatnot, but this one has new footage. So it apparently is going to tie directly in. I think one of the theories is like at the end of it, you see Tony beating a hammer on, you think it's Tony Stark making an iron suit, but that's actually Dr. Doom making his helmet or whatever.
Yeah. The quote from the Russo brothers is that, quote, "It's an opportunity to create a bridge from Endgame to Doomsday in a very unique way." What that really means is, hey, we know the last like 5 or 6 years since Endgame has been like a total dog shit disaster. So we're just going to pretend it never existed.
Yeah.
Which to me is really stupid because, I mean, whatever. I don't want to even, it's just going to be bad. It's going to be dumb and bad and nobody's going to care. It's going to make $1 bajillion because it's Avengers, but like it has no soul or heart to it because obviously what's the obvious thing they're going to do? It's just, Doom is a Tony Stark variant. That's it. And so you take arguably the greatest villain in the history of comic books and you're making him a one-off character that you had no lead up to. Sure, Thanos was a one-off. They fought him and it was over with, but at least Thanos was in the background, looming over everything for 22 movies. And then he finally showed up. This is just like, hey, here's Dr. Doom. Remember his name? No, you don't? Oh, well, this is him. He's Tony Stark. It's so stupid. It's so bad. It's so cheap. And I hope it fails, personally. To be honest. It's
Yeah,
not
I don't know
fail,
if it's gonna
though.
fail.
It's
Yeah,
not.
there's too much nostalgia in this
Too
film.
big to
Like
fail.
Chris Evans coming back is gonna bring a lot of people because they want to see Cap. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about
I'm
this
hopeful
film.
that
Like
it's
I
gonna be
feel like
good.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be good, but like, I just have very strong doubts.
We gotta turn the energy around from
we need
Marvel. We
a morale boost. It's very clear at this point. Secret Wars is going to serve the same purpose it served in the comic books. It's gonna reboot the franchise. With
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
we lose Earth 616. Like they can use this opportunity to wipe out all the canon we've seen, and we're in a different
Yeah.
Earth. Like we're in the mutant Earth now.
Right.
The mutants saved their Earth and they blew up 616, and now all those characters have already been there, but they're cast by different people. They're different ages, and you have the reset of the MCU going forward, where all the characters have always been there.
That
and we
might
just blew
happen.
up the old shit.
That might happen. Why I don't know if that'll happen is just because there's still characters that we have cast that are from 616. I still think 616 is going to be the main universe. I know you want
Probably.
like you want them to recast Tony and Cap,
All of them. Yeah.
and you have great points about that. I don't know if they're going to take that leap, but we'll see. But either way, I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see what happens, I guess. The thing that's weird is like they set up the multiverse saga that they've been on. Like they set up the idea of incursions in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We saw an incursion happening throughout that whole movie. So they established that premise and what it is. But then at the same time, they established in Loki like the time variance authority that like trims
timelines,
like errant timelines. And then they established that like void world where we were in
Loki season 2
show, and Loki season 1 and 2, and also in Deadpool and Wolverine. They also established the Goliath monster thing that like eats time, and like there's so many like I feel like conflicting ideas about time that they've established that I don't even know what the fuck is what now. So I don't know what they're going to do. Just incursions are from the comic book, so just do it, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. There was a quote from the X-Men director. He was talking about all the X-Men movies going forward. He's like, yeah, we want to see, we're always, we want to make the best movie we're going to make, obviously, but we're always talking, I'm paraphrasing. He says, we're always talking about like, well, what happens in the comics? Where can we go with this? And then what are the different storylines, or what hasn't been touched in the comics? What can we expand upon that hasn't been expanded upon? So it just feels like they're throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks sometimes with where they want to go with the series, instead of actually having like the first 1, 2, and 3 phases where it was, we know where this is going to end up.
And I'll be honest, I mean, because like again, Thanos was so effective because, like I said, he was looming over the whole thing for so many years. He would pop up here, pop up there. He was always in the background, and then finally he shows up and just wrecks shop, and it was cool. This is going to be different. Well, it's like, hey, here's Dr. Doom.
Yeah. He was teased, but they could do that because they could afford to tease him and bring him because you knew he was coming.
Yeah.
Whereas once they got into the larger MCU, they teased all this stuff that never came to fruition. And now we have like Shang-Chi fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah. Because
we saw this movie. Who cares about the sequel now? Who actually gives a shit?
They clearly they didn't have a plan. They clearly didn't have a grander plan beyond Endgame. And it kind of shows. I mean, I'm
sure they had somewhat of a plan, like we said, the strikes and the COVID and everything, everything up. So hopefully this is a good reboot for them, and they have a good plan going forward.
Yeah, we'll see. If they fuck up the X-Men, it's over. Yeah.
Well, and this is my problem with Civil War as well, because it's a one-shot movie, and they don't really go into like the whole dynamic of the Civil War, which is a fascinating story. And some people are theorizing that this is going to be Avengers 616 versus X-Men, and they're just going to do Avengers versus X-Men in a one-shot movie and then reboot everything, and everybody's fine, and we'll never see Avengers versus X-Men again. Like,
that's probably
what
they're going to do. Yeah,
that's also going to be annoying to me when you take the best stories and you cram it into one movie, and then you string out these dumb storylines across. Yeah. when you string out these other storylines across multiple movies, it's just like, what are we doing? Like,
I mean, that's
wasting good
obviously what they're
stories.
doing. This is going to be basically what Deadpool Wolverine was on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I guarantee you, the success of Deadpool and Wolverine directly led to the idea for these movies. And that was the pivot point. Because prior to Deadpool and Wolverine, they were doing the whole, like, because that movie is about it's part of the TVA storyline with, that was supposed to be involving Kang and like that whole thing. And it was before his abuse allegations and all that stuff.
Yep.
So, but that movie is literally what they're describing this is. It was like, hey, here's old characters that never got their sort of like proper ending. Let's give it to them now. And that's what that was. And I guarantee you the pivot was like, well, let's just jump off of that and do that on a grander scale. Cause it's everybody's coming back. Like it's, you know, it's going to be everybody. It is what it is. What else you got going on here?
All right. Well, we're talking about the silent hero, not just any silent hero, the silent hero.
Batman?
The moment Link
Oh,
speaks, I can't help but worry that the Zelda magic everyone has been nurturing in their hearts might just vanish into thin air.
Damn.
As we celebrate the 40th anniversary of Zelda, this was Majora Mask's art director, Takaya Imamura, sharing his thoughts on Twitter about the possible fallout from the upcoming live-action movie. Nintendo has not confirmed whether or
talking?
to what extent Link may use his voice in the movie. So for now, we'll just have to wait and see, or rather listen. So I don't know. But while the audio may not be what some fans want, the scenery should be, because Middle-earth is now Hyrule. They've confirmed that they are shooting the film in
New Zealand?
So there will not be stages, green screens, and CGI. It will be on-set cinematography for the live-action movie. But yeah, I mean, Link speaks kind of off-screen in the game. You never really hear it, but he is the silent hero. What do you guys think about this? Him having to say words in a movie when we've never heard a voice. You know, do you have a voice in your head for Link, or do you not? I mean, what is that? Is this how do you guys feel about this one? I thought this was an interesting take.
I've never played Zelda. I'll just say it.
What the?
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never heard Link speak. I don't really have a voice. He's never really needed a voice.
Exactly.
He screams when he's fighting and stuff, you know. And when
so
he's
how do you
jumping,
feel
he
about
makes
maybe
sounds,
hearing
but
Link speak then, Marvin?
Oh wait, don't
bad.
you?
I feel bad.
You're not liking it. I see.
not
I'm on
liking
the
it.
same. I'm not looking
It's
forward
gonna
to
ruin
it.
it. I agree with
It
the ruining
could.
of the magic.
Don't you
Yeah.
hear him in the original Smash Brothers when he jumps? He does like
That's what I'm saying. He makes effects like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but he doesn't
Yes.
speak words.
Never a spoken word.
Like he'll be like,
Yeah, never a spoken
like stuff
word.
like that, but he doesn't speak.
Tell you what, a good Link player is unbeatable. What happened?
Bombs, bro.
What happened to the casting of this? Wasn't there a controversy because what's her name was going to be playing Princess Zelda? Well, that was like the rumor.
Oh, that's right. That Hunter Schafer, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a rumor about that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember who they picked as the stars. They're already picked. They're already filming, but
Oh, okay. So she was a fan cast and expressed interest, and then everybody freaked out about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this is just the latest like outrage thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the anti-world
probably.
DEI trans thing, and now this is like nerd shit being like, oh. Well, I can't even complain because I'm about to have a nerd issue with what we're going to talk about soon. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm not attached to the series, so I don't have really an opinion on it. But if you ask me, and as I always say, I think you should, keep it to the source material. Honor the source material properly.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Now you're going somewhere else with that.
No, it would be like if you.
I thought you were going to say like keep an open mind. Maybe it could be good. I was like,
No, it would be like.
There.
No. It would be like if. It'd be like if Gambit wasn't, Cajun or something.
No,
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Why would you do it? I mean, I get it. It's a movie, And so like the easy out is to just have your character speak, but like that's the easy out because you would be doing it because it's harder to tell a story when you're not speaking, right?
But it's not, because there's amazing characters. Like they've told story, like just Silent Bob is obviously the first one that comes to mind. But there's movies where people don't, like The Man from Nowhere. That guy, he talks a little bit, but he rarely talks.
Listen, you don't have to tell me. I know.
Okay.
You could tell a good story without talking, but do they want to? Because it's more difficult to do that. And you can't have AI write yourself a script without one of your characters talking. You know what I'm saying?
I think I just got one more piece of news here that I'm interested in talking about. We got Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein. These are a couple of humble indie horror guys. They actually met 17 years ago as competitors on Steven Spielberg's filmmaking reality show On the Lot. And after all that time, they've gotten pretty notorious. Their last movie together, Final Destination Bloodlines, was a successful hit, and Sony believes so. They signed a long-term deal with the two. They launched a new company called Wonder Lab, I believe. Well, they will develop their own films as well as produce films for other directors. But part of this deal means that they're currently making an animated Venom movie for Sony because the live action ones have been canceled. They were rebooting that shit. But they're also making the Metal Gear Solid movie. So this movie is actually finally really happening. We are getting an MGS movie. I know Dan's not too happy about this, but I think I'm a little excited that these two guys are going to do it, if anybody.
Are you now?
A little horror background when a Metal Gear movie, sure.
This movie has been in development for God knows how long. Originally, it was attached to
rumored to be.
Yeah, originally it was in development by Jordan Vo Roberts, which was a thing because he was showing like he had like artwork that he was doing for the movie, and like he was planning it out. He directed Kong Skull Island, which is a great movie. Probably the best of the MonsterVerse movies that we've gotten in recent years. And he directed episodes of that show Hysteria I watched last year that I told you guys about, that like
the 80s type one.
Yeah, the one that got canceled that Bruce Campbell was in. He's done some good stuff and some like little indie things. Just all around, I like hearing him talk about the movie. Like he just had like a good, solid understanding of it. This seems more of just like, what's the next big property we could turn into a shitty movie? I don't know. I'm not really familiar with these guys, so maybe I'm off base. But
did you see the Final Destination movie, Dan?
I didn't, but I know everybody loved it.
It was
cool.
They revived. I didn't love it, but it was cool.
It made it. I mean, it was.
That's 6.7.
14-year-old franchise that was dead. They were able to get 300 million out of it. So
and
people love Final Destination.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
The only thing, I guess my only concern. So I'll read this here real quick. We're honored to be partnering with the incredible executive team at Sony, said Lipovsky and Stein in a statement. While working with several Sony teams in the last year, we've been blown away by the level of creativity, thoughtfulness, and passion we felt in every conversation. We share the vision that Tom, Sanford, Peter, Louis, Christine, and Damien, Ashley, and the whole Sony team have for creating theatrical films in the entertainment world. But then regarding Metal Gear Solid was nothing short of a groundbreaking cinematic masterpiece that forever revolutionized video games. We are thrilled and honored to bring Hideo Kojima's iconic characters and unforgettable world to life, which I have a little bit of beef with that end piece. It's already alive. You're just bringing it to a different format.
Yep.
So
check
don't
yourself,
disrespect
buddy.
the fucking, it's already alive and well.
Piss Dan off.
You're happy to bring it to a different genre of entertainment, but
I mean,
I'm excited about it.
It's the same thing with The Last of Us, right? Like the show was good. It's not a bad show. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Had I not played the game, I'd probably love the show. But I played the game, and it's not as good as the game. And there's a lot of emotional moments, like we've talked about many times, that don't land, and they can't land because you're not spending enough time with them.
Right.
Similarly for Metal Gear, like, what do you like? How much of that story can you tell in a 2-hour movie? I have a feeling this will just turn out to be like War Machine that we watched. Like,
Going to be an AI War Machine movie.
Yeah, it's just going to be some dog shit thing. It's like, oh, it's Metal Gear. It's like, I don't know. I mean, like, if it was me, now I know he's working on another game at the moment. Maybe he doesn't want to do it. He loves film. Like, that's his passion. Just give him a bunch of money to make the movie of his own game. Pay Kojima.
Seems simple.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess. Would he even want to?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he'd want to, but like I would
translate.
That would be if I was a producer, if I was in charge of shit. That I'd be sitting down with him and be like, "Hey, I'm interested in adapting your movie. Do you want to direct? I mean, adapting your game. Do you want to direct it and write it?"
Well, I believe they have to give
it.
him. They have to give him an EP credit. How much influence he has over the film, or whether they ask him anything at all, is another thing. That's the thing I hate about EP credits.
Also, it's still a Konami property, so they might have some say over the movie, and they might it up. So who knows?
Correct.
But we'll see. I'm a huge Metal Gear fan.
This is Sony Konami, which does give me pause. But
Sony and Konami, man, that's rough. Metal Gear is my favorite thing ever. So for those of you that don't know,
great story.
I got it tattooed right on my arm. So like, you know, this could put me in the grave potentially. We'll see.
You say that every time.
Yeah, I know.
About everything.
And I've come close a few times, you know.
Well, that's all the news I want to talk about today. So unless you got anything else.
Well, since you were talking about horror movie guys, and we're talking about horror movies today, there are two horror movie things that I wanted to mention. This one was pretty cool. You guys are familiar with the VHS series, right?
Big fan of those.
Yeah, pretty good movies. So there's a movie coming out by director James Cullen Bressick called I Have Proof that'll be shot entirely on vintage VHS-C video cassettes.
Oh, wow.
He purchased 30 tapes from eBay to film on. He says, quote, "We're leaning into analog to create something AI couldn't replicate." So we talk about AI a lot, and we've been talking about physical media making a comeback. This is a pretty cool thing.
It is actually clever.
Yeah.
You're not only making if the movie's good, you're not only making a good product, but you're making it on a platform that people are going to have to figure out how to get it. It's like standing in line to buy some new shoes or a video game or a console release. Like once it's sold out, you're not going to be able to get it for a while. So you got to. I like this idea. This is clever marketing, and I like the idea of bringing back analog.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Just because you probably will be able to see it digitally, obviously, but
oh sure, yeah.
But that's a cool. I think
as it's
cool.
intended, I guess.
Yeah, but that's also all I got too. A couple of just little horror things. Thank you for gathering all the news, Dusty, folks. Thank Dusty. Leave a like, leave a comment on any of the stuff we covered. Maybe some of the stuff from CinemaCon that we missed. There was a lot of it. Let us know your thoughts. So we're talking about Scream 17. I mean 7. And this movie has a interesting backstory that I wasn't aware of, really. I don't know how. I guess I just blocked it out. Marvin and I watched Scream 6 for the podcast. Dusty, you weren't here for that episode. That movie...
I did watch it, though.
Genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. In fact, it's the only movie we never even rated. It was so bad, we just was like, we can't even rate this. Like, that movie was terrible. So I didn't have many expectations going into this, so I think I blocked out a lot of the noise surrounding it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some interesting stuff to discuss. So Scream 7 is one of the most controversial movies this franchise ever had. Probably the most controversial. There was the behind the scenes drama. There was the cast shakeups. People like myself writing it off before it came out. It's just been like pretty messy from the start. However, it happens to be the highest grossing Scream movie ever made. Which is crazy when you think about it, because at the same time, there's a pretty clear split between audiences and critics on whether this movie actually works. It's got hang on.
I just want to say real quick, if you had never released the Scream franchise and you put out Scream 1 today as a new movie, as a new franchise, it would make 4 or 5 times as much as what the Scream 7 movie made. So
100%.
Given the fact that the ticket prices are inflated and there's
That's
more
part
people
of
in
it.
the world to go see stuff, like
We'll
I
get
don't
there.
take much credence in it. So sorry, continue.
No, you're right. That's a good point, and that's what I wanted to talk about. So now you got this weird situation where the movie's divisive, it's controversial, but still massively successful. But I think that says something bigger about the Scream franchise that I gotta praise, because at this point, Scream has reached a level where it doesn't even matter what people say about it. People are showing up anyway. This series has such a tremendous amount of fan loyalty that I don't think it matters what happens, how good the movie is or what. So I thought that'd be interesting to talk about, because this movie here, right, I'll say it off the bat, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but people don't seem to care.
Scream 7?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, oh, wow. So let's just set it up. This is
be saying that about Evil Dead 7 before too long.
We didn't even get into the Evil Dead trailer. That's not an Evil Dead movie. Like, it's not.
What was it? Evil Dead Burn?
Burn. Evil Dead Rise.
Burn, yeah.
Evil Dead Burn. Evil Dead Sunlight. Evil Dead Cheese. Like, just throw a name on it.
Evil Dead
Just
Fall.
throw it in.
Evil Dead Fork. Evil Dead Chair. Just pick a word, throw it at the end of Evil Dead. Fuck it.
Yep.
Don't have to have any whatsoever relation to Evil Dead or the tone of Evil Dead or what made that franchise famous to begin with. Just throw weird angry zombies in it and call it Evil Dead. Fuck. Anyway, so Sydney is older now and she has 14 kids. Her daughter is the same age she was when she was first attacked by Billy Loomis and Stu Macher in the first movie. So there's a tension there because her daughter wants to know more about her past. Obviously, Sydney is famous in this universe. She's been attacked 36 times by different ghost faces. She's killed them all. There's been movies about her, books. Like she's famous. But she's sort of
living in a small town under a different name where everybody actually knows who she really is.
No, she's not living under a different name. Her name is Sydney. They all know who she is. Everybody knows who she is, which is the funny part.
Well, the kid calls her Miss Evans.
Does he?
Yeah.
Was that her? I didn't catch that. I think you might be thinking of a different character.
No.
Sydney Evans. You're right. Sydney Evans. You're right. I
got married.
Didn't even catch it.
She got married.
Yeah, married.
Yeah, married. I guess. There we go. All
but you're not wrong. I understand for your confusion because the whole movie is centered around the fact that she wasn't in the last one. So that's like the main. That's like the main plot point of this movie, and that they brought up and reminded us about no less than 50 times. Of like, why weren't you in New York? Where were you in New York? I'm sorry I wasn't in New York. So she moved to this town and had mysterious kids that are 17 years old, which would have made her have to have kids in Scream 4 or 3, I think. Scream 4 probably. And I don't really remember that movie, but she certainly didn't have kids in that movie.
Right.
Yeah, Scream 4 is the one where she is like living, she's a writer. She's writing her memoir or something like that. And she's like,
wasn't banging that cop.
Yeah, no, she wasn't banging Joel, whatever the fuck his name is.
He was from some kind of
Joel McHale. Everything. He's from everything.
Community and the animal rescue or. Yeah.
So anyway, she's got some tension with her daughter. Surprise, surprise, Ghostface shows up and starts killing the daughter's friends. And oh my God, this is what I didn't want for you. It's happening again. And that's pretty much the movie. Yeah. So that's like genuine. That's the plot. Like, I'm not trying to be lazy or rush through it, folks. If you haven't seen it, like that's the plot. It's nothing special.
I thought the first half of this movie was actually relatively good, and then it fell apart for me and went off the rails, and I was like, okay, this is stupid.
The word's coming back, but I don't know if we could.
Yeah.
Come back.
I watched. I wasn't there for the podcast for Scream 6, and I thought it was pretty dumb. The whole New York thing, plenty of dusty complaints, but the first half of this movie, I thought was like, I was like, okay. Like the whole Stu thing, I'm like, yeah, sure, they're gonna blame it on AI, but they probably could like do that storyline and say, hey, it actually is him. He did survive. Would have been interesting.
Right. Yeah.
But the storyline they went down was good enough. But then like things started to actually happen. Like that first kill, like up to that point, I was like, okay, now what are we gonna do? Like now we don't know who the killer is. We know where the story goes. It was kind of cookie cutter, but it was basically good enough to be like, okay, how are we gonna close this thing off now? And then that's where like it lost me. I was like, I don't believe any of this. I don't like any of this. None of this makes any sense. This is a dumb story.
What do you think, Marvin?
I didn't think it was as bad as people were saying it was.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like the AI narratives. It didn't make sense for everybody and their mama to be a fucking AI specialist in this movie. Like the random teenage kid was an AI expert making
like made it in the
amazing
bar.
technical level. Yeah. And then the orderly is an AI expert. I'm like, you would not be working as a fucking orderly if you were an AI expert. That makes no fucking sense.
Well, he was the easiest pick for me. I was like, okay, Stu may be a killer, maybe AI, somebody else, but it's definitely the orderly and the guy that escaped and whoever else was in the other room, probably.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Right.
It was easy to pick out the killers. It was just a matter of if the third one was Stu or somebody else.
I mean, it's a pretty stale formula at this point. It's the surprise one, and then there's the person that you like are pretty obvious that who it is. But continue, Marvin.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I enjoyed some of the kills. I thought they were cool, but
so you enjoyed this movie?
I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it.
All right.
I just thought it was just okay.
Okay.
I didn't think it was
The kills
as bad
are
as
pretty
people have
good.
been saying.
I hated everything about this movie.
The problem I have with this movie is that it's supposed to be grounded, but the killer always has super human strength, and they're just ordinary. Like it's a woman and an orderly at a mental institution, and these guys are Superman. Like, what are we doing here?
A woman
like Michael Myers' strength.
Yeah, she's and she's like she's spoilers, the smallest person in the cast too. Like she's just yeah. So I hated everything about this movie. Like there was a couple of moments where I was like, whatever. But let me tell you something. If this isn't a parody, like on purpose, then I'm not really sure what this was supposed to be, because there are genuine moments where this felt like I was watching a scary movie. Like I'm not trying to be funny. When Gail shows up and they hit that killer, spoilers, with the car, and she gets out and the camera just pushes in and she goes, "Did I get him?" And then the two kids come out. It's like, "Yeah, you got him." It was like I was watching the Power Rangers, dude. Like, what the was I watching? Genuinely.
Yeah.
And from that point,
I don't know.
The movie went off the rails at that point. The acting fell apart. The writing went out the window, and it wasn't good to begin with. Just to say,
the first half writing was a little decent. Like I thought there was some clever wit. It made fun of itself. Like when they're sitting there and she's talking about what is she?
Did we get him?
She's like, now we're just talking about dying franchises and fading careers or whatever. And she's talking about it. I'm like, oh, they're talking about the movie Fourth Wall Break.
Well, that's always been the Scream wheelhouse. If you remember, the first movie was a meta narrative about slasher movies. And it was an homage.
But I enjoyed that in the first half. But the second half was just felt like the second half was AI written. So Sydney, who's been attacked several times and moved to a small town to get away from all this, has 3 deadbolts on her door, knows about boyfriends climbing into her windows, and had all this, but she's going to leave her daughter's window with a panic room. But my daughter's window, no screen, no bars, nothing, just easy to climb through, easy to access, so boys can climb through it. Let's just leave that open. Or like, we've got the security camera at the restaurant and we can like talk through it, but we can't press a remote silent alarm on our phone to call the cops. The cops are supposed to be like going around the neighborhood when they first get to her house. We're like, we're going to secure the neighborhood. Gunshots in the house that you're supposed to be securing. Nobody shows up for 10 minutes. Like, what? There's just so much sloppy writing in the second half of this film. I was like, I watched a completely different movie the first. It felt like somebody wrote, and I think there's 2 writers, so maybe that was it. But somebody really leaned into the AI the second half of this movie. It was dreadful for me. I was like, this is dumb.
I don't know what they leaned into.
I think the writing was pretty bad overall. You did bring up the panic room, which was crazy that they even had a panic room. It was like she was a It's like the House Hunters meme where it's like, we got the cop and the final girl. What's your budget? Yeah, 3.5 million.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you guys even have this much money?
Well, she had
And
a
then
book.
they
The secret
retreat-
way out of the
Oh, okay,
panic
so she had
room
a
is a
book.
hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That's
That was the
fucking
dumbest
made out
shit.
of
And
30-year-old wood.
why did they even leave the panic room? Let's leave the
Hit the
safety of the panic room.
It wasn't even safe though, because if you find the secret tunnel, you could easily
if you
get
find
in.
the yeah.
No, I mean, listen, this movie, like, it wasn't even trying. I mean, I don't know, like, what parts of the beginning did you actually like? Because really, from the get go, I was like, this movie's fucking terrible.
I mean, the initial kill was pretty good. I thought the idea of them showing these kids showing up to this fake house where you can stay in,
Like a museum
and then,
type of thing.
like
yeah, okay.
The museum
Yeah, I thought
type,
that was
and then they
interesting.
get killed. That triggers the whole thing.
Why were they killed?
And
Is the
then
thing,
you-
though. What was the point of that? To burn down Stu's house? Like, what was the point? Because that was in Stu's house.
Right.
Well,
The
that
original
was, I
house.
think, a remake. It wasn't actually Stu's
Yeah, but I'm saying,
house.
what was the point of that?
Mm.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Just to get it started, I had you take it one of those intro scenes, you know, an opener, I
Like,
guess. To
The franchise
But-
started strong, like from a story perspective. It's like the first movie, like her mother was like the town or whatever. That was like the rumor. And, you know, you're wondering like, who's the killer? And you think it's, what's his name? Liev Schreiber in that one because of his like history with the mother. And then it turns out, no, it's the boyfriend and his weird friend. And they were
Billy.
doing it. One was doing it because he was like pissed at her mom because her mom broke his family up or whatever. Stupid, but like whatever. Works for a horror movie. And then Stu was like just bored and like out of his mind.
Mhm.
But just as the franchise has gone on, like, wow, have they just degraded? And you're kind of trapped because like that movie, like in old slasher movies, it was pretty straightforward. It's like Michael Myers, The Shape. He's just a escaped mental guy who has this obsession with this girl, and then it's like, oh, it's his sister, and it's this person, and it's his niece,
Yeah.
and you just see the degradation of the thing. And Scream is even in a worse spot because Michael Myers is an enigma. He's an enigmatic character. You don't know anything
Yeah.
about him. Jason, you don't know anything about him. Freddy, you just know that he was like a child killer who was killed by the townspeople and he's now back for
Right.
revenge. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Scream, like the whole plot
It's
hinges,
a whole lore, and you have to kind of know
Yes.
it to even like.
but also what I was getting at, it's got that like Scooby-Doo thing where like the whole movie hinges on the big reveal at the end where it's like you take the mask off, it's
Who
like,
was it?
oh,
Yeah.
it was you the whole time. Like that's the selling point of Scream. And this was the weakest killer reveal
Yeah.
that I've ever seen in a killer reveal scenario. Like, give me it's your neighbor who read your book.
And the
spoilers.
reasoning, a jealous fan
Yeah.
who thought that she needed to be revived as the Scream King, so let's kill her entire family. What? What?
Make you
Yeah.
reborn as your daughter with new trauma.
All right. Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what bothered me about this. Don't even get me started about Gail. And like, I understand there's a lot of pressures on women to like look youthful, but like, Courtney Cox can't even move her face at this point. I made fun of this in Scream 6. It's worse.
It
She's
was
just
bad.
like,
Yeah. But she
Did I
had
get
more
him?
Botox injections in the 6.
I've been waiting to interview you for 30 years. It's like, what are we
It
doing?
was bad. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make fun of it. Like, whatever, do whatever you want cosmetically. I don't give a fuck. Like, you have to have a mirror. You know what I'm saying? Do you not have a mirror? Do you not have people in your life being like, dude, you look bad? It doesn't look good. You'd look better as your natural 61-year-old self or however old she is. I know she's in her 60s.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think this movie was fucking trying. This was just parody level for me the whole time. The cast was, are there only like 10 Gen Z actors? Because the same actors are popping up in all these new movies. This movie had
Apparently.
I didn't recognize any of these people.
2 people from the cast of Ghostbusters Afterlife are in this. McKenna Grace,
Oh.
who was the main character, and Celeste O'Connor, who was her friend, the black girl. They were both in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So like,
Wow.
are we casting the same pool of talent? I was a little excited when I saw Isabel May was in it. And to be fair, she was good in this, I think. She was from
Yeah.
1883, if you guys remember.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
But the rest
Oh,
of the
that
cast,
was her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the rest of the cast was terrible. Besides her and like Nev Campbell, I guess was okay. but the writing didn't really help them at all.
At all.
I thought some of the kills were kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Some of them were like out of character for Scream movies. The Scream kills were always less like, usually like Friday the 13th is the one where you get like the really like over dramatic, like gory kills. Halloween,
the bar kill.
The bar kill was hilarious, but it was very out of like character for
Yes,
Scream.
it was.
But still
that
funny.
Was insane.
Yeah.
And then the first kill in the theater or whatever.
That was kind of cool.
The high school theater. That was insane. I feel like, is that like that's not a Scream-esque kill, right? Like it's never that crazy.
It kind of is. I mean, well, you never really saw it play out like that. Like in the first Scream, they left a little to the imagination where you would just see the aftermath of it.
Oh, okay.
I think, but yeah. So let's get into some of the stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just I like I said, Scream 6 was bad. Scream 5 wasn't really that good. And Dusty and I watched Scream 5.
You thought this was worse than 6, though?
This made 6 look like Black Christmas.
Oh,
for me.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't like 6.
No. No. No, 6 was terrible. This
was not a great movie, but I thought it was better than 6.
They're both really bad. I did not think this was better than 6. I think this movie has a lot of nostalgia helping it, because you got the return of Neve Campbell and like whatever.
Maybe that's why it was better, because she was in it and she made it better just by being in it. But
Matthew Lillard was good in this while he was in it, and obviously you know, he's doing Matthew Lillard things.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm trying to go back through like the history of the movies. Scream 5 was the first one that they made without Wes Craven after he died. He died in 2015, I believe. And then they made Scream 5, which they just called Scream. And that was the one that was supposed to like be the reboot of the franchise. Sydney was in it, Dewey was in it, Courtney Cox was in it, I believe. But it introduced the new cast of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, and they were like the sister characters.
Mm-hmm.
And in that movie, I think the killer was the guy from The Boys. And I think he was doing it because
I haven't seen that one forever.
We watched it when it came out, you and I together, but I think he was like obsessed with the Westboro killings or whatever, and was just trying to like be a copycat. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, which is cool. That's like the easiest, safest way to do that, right? It's like, oh, he's a copycat killer. No real deep thing other than being a psycho. And the movie wasn't good, but it was like, okay. 6 was horrendous. They moved to New York, and like it's in New York now, and like this killer's like shooting bodega clerks for no reason, and like it was just bad and stupid. And that kid's entire family was the killer because like they're getting revenge or something, and whatever. But I wanted to talk about so the Scream 5 and 6 like set up Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera as the new like faces of the franchise, including
Queens,
including the twins in this, Jasmine Savoy Brown from Yellow Jackets and her brother Mason Gooding. Well, the characters are brother and sister; they're twins that are Gail's underlings in this movie. Them 4 were supposed to be like the new, I guess, group of the franchise, right? And those two in this, the characters, they're the niece and nephew of what's his name from the original 2, Jamie Kennedy's character, the one who was obsessed with the horror movies, right?
They get post-credit outtakes. I don't know if you guys saw.
Yeah, I saw while they're doing the news thing. But so this movie, I think, was announced in 2022 or 2021 or something like that, something around that time. In 2023, Melissa Barrera, she was fired for, you guessed it, speaking out against the genocide in Gaza at the hands of Israel. So she was the company Spyglass labeled her as anti-Semitic for saying genocide is bad. This ignited fan boycotts and
certainly a take,
all sorts of stuff. And what's a take? That speaking out against genocide is anti-Semitic?
Genocide is bad, and we should disavow those people.
Oh yeah, no, you can't do that though.
Can't say that.
No, you ruin your career. This video might get taken. Who the fuck? But anyway, so she got fired, and that led to like a bunch of fan backlash because like she was like the new face of the franchise. That led to Jenna Ortega dropping out, and then the director that was supposed to do this was Christopher Landon, who is a great director. Christopher Landon did what does he do? What did he do? Let's see. I forget. I had it all written down, and I don't know what happened. He directed Freaky, which was a movie Dusty and I liked, that like comedy sort of horror. Instead of doing Scream 7, he dropped out and made Drop, which we also covered on the podcast, which I enjoyed it, I think, more than you guys, but we all kind of like didn't hate it. He wrote the screenplay for that movie We Have a Ghost that I told you was really good. He did Heart Eyes, which was a popular horror movie last year. Happy Death Day. Like, he's a horror guy. I
remember that one.
He's done paranormal movies. Like, he would have done a great job, I think, at this, at least on some level. So he backed out. So now you got your two leads and your director dropping out. And so they had to pick up the pieces and put things back together. So the production went and got Neve Campbell back. Now, she was supposed to be in Scream 6, but she didn't do it because she didn't feel that they were offering her enough money. And she was right. I don't know what the number was, but she was like, yo, I'm the face of the franchise. Like, you need to treat me better. And so she decided not to do that. So now I guess they gave her a boatload of money to come back to do this, and she did it. And we got all the whatever people back. Clearly that led to some issues with this movie because, I mean, it was just bad. Surprisingly, one of the writers on this, Kevin Williamson, wrote the original 2 movies. So explain that shit to me. I don't understand what the fuck happened. Did he, like you said, did he run his shit through an AI? I don't know.
Well, maybe he's the one that wrote the stuff that I thought was good, and the other stuff the other guy wrote, and I thought it was trash.
He might have just wrote like the Neve Campbell stuff, like her story arc.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because there was some stuff in there, like the whole, something clairvoyant she says is, by me protecting her from all this trauma, I've made her vulnerable to it. Like there's some
because she wasn't making her strong. And that lies my big issue with this, is because like Halloween, the recent trilogy, the David Gordon Green trilogy, dog shit trilogy, you have an opportunity to tell like a compelling story about generational trauma.
Yeah.
It's interesting that a woman or a person would have undergone such a traumatic event that all your friends were murdered on a single night, whether it be Halloween or Scream or what franchise. It's a compelling story to tell now, 30 years later, where you are in life, how you've dealt with it, how you're raising your children. We saw Laurie, we saw hints of it in Halloween 2018, where she's a shut-in. She's lived her whole life preparing for the moment that he comes back. And this could have been something similar. And it just wasn't. Like, how do you drop that ball? I don't understand. We get her the movie builds her up.
We got small taste of it, but yeah.
The movie builds her up as this heroic survivor, like almost of like myth and legend, and she's just standing in the middle of the road instead of like she's like 20 feet away from where her daughter is.
That whole sequence was so bad.
And she's standing in the road on her phone like, oh, shoot the wall, instead of continuing to run to help your daughter. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
The police.
She had no service. Don't you remember?
She had no service, but she was able to call
her daughter and talk her through the gun. Yeah.
That's what she did. Yeah, it was stupid. And then the killer reveals were dumb. Like, we had 17 killers for no reason. Like, we brought back Stu for no fucking reason whatsoever, just because he's a face that you remember. Like, had no bearing on the story.
Were just playing with us with this one.
Yeah, it was just
playing in our faces.
Like, what are we doing?
It had promise, because like I said, there's a great story there to be told. Like the whole trauma and how much you want to protect, because you want to protect your kids. Like,
yeah, of course.
Neve portrayed herself, Sydney, as like a person who doesn't trust anybody anymore, period. And she even told what's her name? She's like, I don't even trust you. And at the end, she's like, I do trust you.
I actually like
you don't want to pass that down to your kid. You want your kid to have a normal life
and be strong.
So you do want to have some protection there. So it's a matter of how much do you protect them, because you also don't want them, like, it would be a boring movie if her daughter was prepared, like, oh, my mom's trained me for this. I'm ready for this. I'm going to be a badass and I'm just going to kill all the killers. And it's just going to be a comedic Scream where the daughter is just a badass and a hero because she was so well prepared. You want something in the middle, but we didn't get that.
Yeah, right. and I like the contrast between her and, let's say, Laurie Strode, right? Laurie in Halloween was portrayed as like she was crazy and like, oh, he's never coming back, and her family was like, you know, they shit on her and like made her feel bad, and she was a weird shut-in and a hermit and all this stuff. But in the end, she was right and she was prepared and she fucked him up. In this, I don't think she was timid, Nev Campbell. You said she was timid. I don't think she's timid. I think she's a very strong character. The movie points that out, that she's so strong. She's been through this 6 times before or 5 times before. She's a pro. Her thing is like you said, she chose the wrong path to raising her daughter. Instead of like, she's trying to protect her and like block all this bad stuff from happening instead of preparing her for it. And I think that's actually a compelling thing to explore, but they didn't.
It would have been,
they didn't really drop the ball. And I like the fact that she was such a badass that they made a joke out of it. Like at the end where she's like, fell off, fuck you, or whatever she said. Like she was.
Final scene where they shoot the face off. That's
oh my god,
that's what you do. You
funny.
Shoot to stop the threat until the threat is stopped. And in these movies, the threat has never stopped. That's why it's always shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head, shoot him in the head. That literally we shot him in the head like 30 times. Thank you.
That was so good.
There were some there were
right.
some funny moments like that and some good moments. And so I don't know why the movie was just the way it was. Otherwise,
the husband somehow
frustrating
lived after getting stabbed.
Yeah,
like
could you imagine?
Times. There's no way that guy was alive.
He's just alive.
It's like an 8-inch blade.
He's just alive, man. Meanwhile, the one chick died because she got like thrown through some glasses on a bar, and like one shard went into her carotid artery. It's so stupid, this movie. Oh my god, how bad it was. And the killer reveal is just, I cannot say how bad it was, like accurately. Lackluster, stupid, made no sense. And so
I'm an AI expert in
no, not even him.
Valley.
The neighbor being like, oh my god, you saved me from my shitty marriage, but you became less tough than I thought you were, so now I gotta toughen you up and kill you. Like, what? Crazy. And so all in all,
and why the boyfriend who knows about all the stab movies and knows about all this stuff just happens to be like looking into the AI to help his girlfriend and leaves his laptop half open on the seat and hasn't told her anything about it. So when she opens it, it looks so suspicious that she's going to want to pick the laptop up and beat him in the face with it.
Oh no, I was just testing.
What are we doing with that?
I just recreated the most advanced AI thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was just testing it with a green screen too, no less. He had a green screen. Green screen, dude. I forgot. And he's saying the exact thing, like, I'm gonna stab you in the neck. No, I'm innocent, I swear.
Damn it, man.
Dude, this movie was like truly like a joke. I actually think it was like a meta parody. Like they thought there's an inside joke that like, hey, let's pretend.
There probably, yes.
It had to have been
a little.
There's only one thing I actually liked about this movie, and that is the scene in the garage before the husband gets stabbed 36 times only to survive. Is that when the wind was blowing the like the plastic, the construction plastic, there's that one shot where like the plastic gets blown into the face of Ghostface and like it reveals his face. That was nice. That was a good little creep moment, but that's it.
That was good.
So let's discuss. The movie is bad. We all agree. It's terrible. It's got a.
I didn't say all that.
It's terrible.
I didn't like.
We don't agree. That
you feel it's terrible. It's got a 30% rotten on the critic score, 75% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes fan score.
Yeah.
So, and it also, again, most profitable Scream movie to date. Now, Dusty, you brought up a good point. It could be because of inflated ticket prices. It could be because of a lot of things like that. But one thing you can't deny is that fans didn't care. They ignored the drama going in.
Yeah.
They don't care about they don't think the movie's bad. It's got high ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Now that's not the only aggregate site, of course, but like,
yeah,
was maybe, who knows? The ratings aren't always true. It could have been review bombed. The studio could have paid for good reviews. Who knows? But one thing you can't refute is that it made a lot of money, which means two things. Fans ignored all the drama going into it, and this franchise has a tremendous amount of loyalty. Why do you guys think that is?
I think it's just like a household name, like franchise. Like,
yeah, it's just nostalgia.
See
and
Scream,
loyalty.
and they just want to go see Scream. It's just one of those classics. I think you could just rely on.
Yeah,
or at least that's probably what people think. Yeah,
and that's strong enough because. Go ahead,
Dan. In 6 years, when Evil Dead Open the Gates comes out,
and
they announce
that's another one.
Just
no, he's just
random
making
title.
Oh.
Yeah. And they announced that Ash will be reprising his role as a fat-bellied man in a wheelchair. You're going to go watch that movie. And it doesn't matter if it's the 13th Evil Dead or the 8th. You're going to go watch that movie. Because
I will always support my goat, Ash, okay?
Yeah. But that's what I mean, it's just, there's no different here. It's just, this franchise, I mean, for some people, I think this franchise is almost falling down onto the Scary Movie level.
I mean, I think it's a dead franchise. It's not though. That's the thing. It's not. Which is why
clearly it's not.
Which is why this is interesting. Yeah, we saying it's dead because it's clearly run out of like steam in terms of story, is run out of steam in terms of scares and like creativity. But it doesn't matter to people. People are still going out to see it.
Because people want a good slasher flick, but the whole Ghostface killer storyline is starting to get uninspiring and unoriginal. And
so think
people are still.
I think majority of people don't care about that as long as they get a few cheap kills.
Well, I've argued plenty of times.
It's a popcorn flick you go on a date with.
Yeah, we've talked about it recently. Like horror movies is the one genre where you don't have to care about it being bad or the writing or whatever. This movie just happened to be, for me, like just bad in everything. It didn't do anything enjoyable for me. So like, it is what it is. But if it was just cheesy acting, I'd be fine. And if it had like, good scares and kills or whatever, I'd be down. But it wasn't that, unfortunately. But I think you're right.
There's some good kills though.
It did have a couple. I think you're right though, Dusty, that this movie's success proves that I think broadly the world, not just the horror genre, but because horror transcends the genre, it's the fandom. Like people like horror movies, and I think this shows that people want slasher movies again. Like the slasher is like a lost art.
It is.
And it's kind
Going
of
to see the slasher on Friday night is that's like big. I did that plenty of times.
Oh yeah,
in my childhood.
It's my whole childhood, and that's like there's
some people who like the Saw style torture movies where people are getting their skin peeled off and shit. But
everybody
most people
has...
want to. When you take a date to a movie, and scary movies are good movies to take girls on dates to, guys. Just FYI, if you're young, you don't know.
Write that down.
You don't want to like give your date nightmares. You want to scare them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And a good slasher flick can do that without too much brutality and like
you don't want to ruin the night.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to
watching
ruin
a
the
Saw
mood.
movie.
Yeah,
it's just a classic flick, and they haven't done them justice in a while.
Everybody has their wheelhouse of like what type of horror they like, but the world will always have space for slasher movies. They're classics, like you said, and we don't get enough of them. And I think that's why. And also coupled with the fact that, like Marvin said, this is such a classic franchise. It carries a lot of nostalgia. Yeah. And it does that in an extra way because this is unique.
And it's like Ghostface. Like,
Well, this is unique in that it's the same cast in almost every movie. They tried to introduce a new cast and I guess whatever, anti-Semitism. But it's been Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox for the vast majority of the franchise. So this is unique in that no other franchise or slasher franchise has those legacy characters that always come back. Friday the 13th has always been a new cast. Halloween has always been a new cast for the most part. And so that's an interesting level to it too, that you have this like fan attachment to the characters. It's almost like watching a show almost, where every new season you're like, all right, what are these characters up to? What are our friends up to?
True.
So it's just a very interesting dichotomy that the movie was as bad as I think it is, but it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. And the controversy too is honestly, on a different topic, pretty pathetic, to be honest, that what happened. So that's a different conversation, but like you would think more people would be up in arms about it and be like, fuck this, I'm not going to go see this movie.
Right. Yeah.
But it didn't seem to matter. So
Yeah.
maybe that speaks to a larger thing that people are gutless, spineless. Who's to say? Either way, it doesn't have as favorable as a rating on IMDb. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this before we finish up?
No,
I am. So, I Know What You Did Last Summer came out last year. And I forgot about it. I actually wanted to see it, but I forgot about it.
You gonna watch it?
Go back and watch it. Yeah. But
That's
apparently
a
it got
or
shit on this one too.
It's a requel.
A requel.
It's not a reboot.
Yeah.
It's just a sequel. All the same.
It's another
characters are there.
slasher, right? Like everybody's seen the original, love the original.
This has a
Classic.
5.1.
So
I Know
mean,
What You Did Last Summer.
It's very close to.
I actually might watch it
Scream
tonight.
7.
I might watch it tonight.
Did you know they're remaking Pumpkinhead, Dan? Did you see that?
No,
oh
I didn't.
shit!
Oh, yeah.
I'm
But
gonna.
this one did not do nearly as well in the box office as Scream 7.
Right.
Nah. I'm gonna watch. I Know What You Did Last Summer tonight, just for the lulz. We should watch it and report back on it next week. But yeah, so Scream 7 has a 5.5 on IMDb. Where would you guys put it, Marvin?
5.5. I'm right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fair rating. I wouldn't bump it to a 6, but I don't think I'd give it an even 5 because it has a couple redeeming qualities about it, even though it's not a great film.
Yeah.
Can't do it. This is less than mid for me. I'll give it like a 4. And that's being generous, I think.
Hey, that's fair.
I think that's being generous. And I'm only giving it a 4 because of that one. There's like a few shots of Ghostface that are like kind of neat. The one I mentioned particularly. They redid the Halloween thing in the beginning in that first kill in the house where like his face slowly appears in the dark. So there's a couple things. I thought Nev Campbell was good. And that's about it. So I'll give it a 4.
Yep.
But let us know what you guys think.
I did like the scene in the beginning in the house where you were waiting for like you got
knew it was going to happen. The swap, right?
The statue swap where it's a statue. Well, I was waiting the whole time because it's in the doorway. I'm like, one of these times they're going to cut back to that
it's gonna
scene
be in
and the statue isn't going to. No, it's just not going to be there.
I
is
knew
what I was waiting for.
No. I knew there was going to be. I'm a seasoned. No, I'm kidding. I knew there was going to be a swap, but because they kept showing it in the background.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be in like you're going to see its head move or it's going to be in a different position or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it was either swap or it was going to disappear, but I thought it was going to disappear.
And the movie is so bad that they telegraphed that, but they didn't even do it effectively. The way they did it was like not cool at all. It was like, it was pretty bad. And so I don't know. Let us know what you think, folks. Did you like Scream 7? Did you hate it? Did you go see it? Did you wait till it came out on digital? We want to know your thoughts. This was a rough one. I mean, I guess if you're a horror fan and it's Scream, whatever, go watch it, I guess. But it's not something that you're going to remember, I don't think, like 2 days from now. I certainly won't. In fact, I might actually get some memory wiping medication to make myself.
I'll probably remember that bar kill for a while.
The bar kill was pretty.
Cool
The bar kill was pretty funny.
The beer flowing.
You know what really got me about it too? Not just the beer flowing. When it first penetrates his head from behind, you hear him go, like he. It's just that moment of like he knows what's happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's going to do it for us, folks. We do this once a week. Next week, we got Make Marvin Watch, baby. He's watching They Live for the first time. Talk about horror. The master of horror himself, They Live, John Carpenter's
let's go.
Classic film, pertinent to the times we are living in. Now more than ever. Now more than when the movie came out, maybe. So is John Carpenter a prophet? He might be. But yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about next week. If you want to be notified when new videos go out, or keep up with our schedule and watch along with us, join our Discord. The link is down below. It's free to join. If you're watching over on Spotify or listening on Spotify or Apple, consider leaving a rating on the show. It helps push the show out to more people. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, leave a like. The last time we were together, we watched Send Help, which
Dan hated.
I also didn't like. So if you, and that was a divisive episode. Dusty and I, we got into it a little bit. Not really, but
we did.
We had a disagreement on the movie. But if you want to watch,
on Dusty's side that time.
Yeah, I got ganged up on. So if you want to watch that episode and hear our thoughts on Send Help, you can click that video right there. But otherwise, we will catch you guys next week. Thanks for hanging.
Costa.
See ya.